DownHome Sports, covering all the sports in Ellis County. Brought to you by Pinnacle Bank, the way banking should be. Pinnacle Bank, not just another bank in Texas, but Texas and a bank. Located off of 287 in Midlothian, Texas. And Dough City Pizza and Burgers. For artisan burgers, pizzas, and ice cream, make sure you go where it's delicious to Dough City Pizza and Burgers, located in Red Oak, right across from the high school.
Elite Foot and Body in Midlothian, Texas, off of 663. Make sure you go to get your body rejuvenated after hard workouts and great competitions.
With today's busy schedules, we need flexibility. Pinnacle Bank is the way banking should be. With ATM Live, powered by the people. They have hours that make it easy. Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. You can just pull up to one of the easy-to-access ATMs where there's always someone live, friendly, and knowledgeable to help you. Pinnacle Bank, not just another bank in Texas, but Texas in a bank. Member FDIC. Hey, what do you say? Guess what, folks? We got Ennis Bass Fishing. We got Colton Wilson. We got Blake Kovar, both freshmen, both first-year bass fishermen. Gentlemen, glad to have you with us here this evening. Anyways, first things first, I got a buddy of mine, and I told him we were going to have you on this week, and he wanted to let y'all know that he is so happy that so many young people are getting in there. He's MLF fisherman Chris Brasher. He wanted to give a big shout out to the Ennis Bass Fishing team. So, guys, just talk about bass fishing real quick. And is it just a hobby, Blake? Is it something that you've been doing your whole life? You know, how'd you get into it?
Well, it is something I've been doing my whole life. I got in it. My dad took me out and started from there, I guess.
Very nice. So, Colton, what excited you about being on the bass fishing team for Ennis this year?
It was really just all the opportunity that it held with it. And all the other schools that I'd been to, they didn't have a fishing team. So once I saw there was one here in Ennis, I just saw my shot and I took it.
Okay. And Blake, who's y'all's boat captain?
His name is Kirk Markgraf.
And how important is he to you two going out there fishing and doing those scouts and everything with you?
He is very important. He helps us with everything. He's taught us how to fish better at lakes and all sorts of stuff like that.
Very cool. Well, Colton, do you got a favorite lure that you like to fish with? Just depends on the lake. What's your favorite hookup on your rod and reel?
Well, usually we're using crankbaits and spinner baits, all that, but I got to say my top favorite is a crankbait. You can't really go wrong with it. Or a Senko and wacky rig it.
Oh, very nice, very nice. Well, you know, they call the bass fishing team, but my buddy Nick Owens has always said you go catching, you don't go fishing. So let's talk about them big bags. So Blake, what's the biggest bag y'all turned in this year?
It was 14 pounds and 1 ounce.
Well, daggum, Colton, are y'all out there singing the 5-pound bass all the time or what? I mean, if you're bringing in 14-pound bags.
Oh, we see them here and there, but they ain't too common with us on the boat.
Oh, now don't be so humble. You had to have some big ones to get that 14-pound bag, though. So, Blake, what's y'all's best finish this year on your boat in THSBA?
That would be at the same tournament. We got 14 pounds. We got 5th place at Lake Richland Chambers.
Dadgum, that's pretty darn good, man. Y'all two just freshmen and the boat really getting going, Colton. What's your expectations for next year? You got a whole season ahead of you now.
I'm looking to do every tournament like we did at Chambers, except more. I want to make it as far as I can and just keep going.
So, Colton, I'm going to come back to you real quick. Are y'all splitting your time between Texas High School Bass Association and the trails, or are y'all just fishing THSBA?
Well, we'll go pre-fishing and stuff, but mostly it's for THSBA, so our time is really all dedicated to that.
Now, Blake, I heard a rumor, and I need you to confirm this for me, but does your boat captain, when you turn in your big bags, do they have to take a lie detector test? A
Yes, they do.
polygraph?
Yes, sir.
Whoa, that's kind of crazy, man, but I guess it's keeping everybody honest. So, you know, if you folks,
Yep.
if you don't know this, most of these associations around Ellis County are very big parent supported. So, Blake, why don't you tell us about some of the people that support y'all in this bass fishing endeavor?
Almost everyone, like really supportive people. Our teachers are supportive, our family, grandparents, all of them are all very supportive.
Very cool. Well, Colton, you know, it's not one of these sports where you get big headlines and stuff like that, but you're still going out and doing big things. And, you know, most people don't realize that you can earn scholarship money doing this as well. So what's one of the big things that you like about the team, that the boat that you're on, and how y'all support each other?
I just like, my favorite thing is how far we came from our first tournament to now going to the Angler of the Year tournament. It's we've really grown and kind of gotten better over the time.
Very good. Well, Blake, y'all got your eyes set on nationals next year?
Yeah, that'd be nice.
That'd just be nice, you know, just easy going. Well, Colton,
Yeah.
It sounds like you're going to have to drag Blake to nationals with you, you know. But, you know, what's one of the things that, Colton, what's one of the big things for you that you would tell other people why they ought to get into bass fishing in high school?
Not only is it fun if you really like it, but the outcome is great. You get recognition. Like you said, there's scholarships and just bigger opportunity on the bass fishing team.
Well, and folks, you may not know this either, but guess what? You can go to college bass fishing as well. Blake, are you looking at any schools that you're thinking about trying to get out there with?
Yeah, I've been looking. I can't really find a lot.
Okay. What about you, Colton? Any schools that you'd like to go be a bass fisherman for?
I would love to do that. My uncle Chase Walker, he got a scholarship for fishing at a ETBU, and he did real good this year. The team for Burleson.
Yeah, they did real good, man. Well, Blake, tell people how they can join or contact to find out more about the Ennis Bass Fishing Club.
You can go look at our Facebook page that they have, or you can email them. Pretty sure they got an email. And then you just got to find a school. If you aren't going to Ennis, find a school that has it. Talk to the people, get that stuff going.
Well, Colton, if they're around campus, can they hit one of the two of y'all up?
Of course. And if they aren't in high school yet, they're still in junior high. They're giving out a bunch of brochures and flyers for the fishing team, so they should join.
Well, that's pretty darn awesome. Well, folks, guess what? We got two freshmen out here that are fishermen, and they're catching, and you got to keep your eyes on this boat, because who knows? Next year they may be heading to nationals or even a state title. So, gentlemen, we want to thank y'all for coming on. Hope y'all enjoyed it, and go out there and reel one in for a fat guy, okay?
All righty, thank you.
All right. Are you hungry for the best burgers, fries, and pizza in Ellis County? Well, stop by Doe City Pizza and Burgers, where the ingredients are fresh every day and stacked up just the way you like them. Custom seasoned fries and burgers right off the grill on in-house fresh homemade buns.
So head on down to Dough City Pizza and Burgers, where everything there is delicious. Dough City Pizza and Burgers is located in Red Oak, Texas, right across from Red Oak High School. Make sure you come down and have the best burgers and service in Ellis County.
We got some very special guests on here tonight. We got the Live on Austin Foundation. Eric and Tara, thank you all for joining us tonight. And, you know, how much is this? I just want to get into the personal stuff first. How much has this season been a healing process? You know, we've talked to Coach Woods, and, you know, he's talked about how these boys have really, you know, utilized this to bond together and to be bigger than just a baseball team. Has that community rallied around y'all as well?
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. The community has been wonderful. I mean, we talk about it all the time. And once we think we go somewhere and we get recognition and we go home and we go, okay, maybe that's it. And then we go somewhere else and there's something else for us. I mean, it's just, for right now, it's never ending. We always think it's going to not really stop, but we think it's going to maybe slow down. But we just had the RBI club did a little deal for the baseball team yesterday, and more stuff came out of that. I mean, it's never ending. So the community's we've been blessed to have the community, the backing of the community that we've had.
Well, it's not just that. It's also like, you know, RBI Club's done an amazing job.
Oh,
but I've also
definitely.
seen the Ennis community pouring out as well.
Correct.
And how much has that touched your hearts to just see everybody around Ellis County that his life touched, you know, responding back?
Oh yeah, we're very blessed with all of Ellis County, Waxahachie, Ennis. I mean, those are the two main ones right now. At first, it was everybody, but those two communities have pulled together and just rallied around. I mean, putting his jersey out there and for both teams, and you know, we've been very blessed with Ennis and Waxahachie continuing on his legacy.
Well, and it's a great legacy too. I mean, it's an amazing legacy. You know, I was talking to a couple of young players the other day that talked about doing donations just based off of hearing some of the stories. We just had another person that reached out to me today and was telling me, you know, they heard about the story and they're just so thankful for that getting out there because of the fact that their cousin just got a heart transplant.
Oh,
and
wow.
everything went well, you know?
Yeah, that's awesome.
And that was a COVID related deal. But I mean, y'all got this great event coming up. You got this great foundation. You know, why don't y'all tell us just a little bit about the foundation and what it's going towards? And that way we can make sure everybody understands.
Well, we did the foundation, to give senior high school baseball players scholarships. And this year we were able to give
5,500.
how many scholarships?
7.
Yeah, I believe we gave 5 to Waxahachie.
Wow.
You know, they have an application to fill out, and the applications that we got, we were able to fill 5 in Waxahachie and 2 in Ennis, and we hope to grow on that as well, as you know, as we build the foundation more and it gets out. But also not only that, I mean, that's a big part of it, but we also want to help the community, because that's what, you know, Austin being the donor that he wanted to be. We also want to help the community in any way that we can. I know we've told several people the foundation is basically to help any kid that is in need of a scholarship or some type that just can't afford, you know, to play, because there's athletes out there that are very good athletes, but they just can't afford it, you know, because it's expensive. And I'll be the first to tell you, it's expensive. And so if we reach out to those kids and help those kids, but also any tragic event, I mean, anything. I mean, you just put it in front of us, and I'll put it in front of the committee, and we will do our best to try to help anybody and everybody that we can. I mean, no matter what it is, we're going to try to do our best to help whatever we can, if you know what I mean. I mean, it's not only for the scholarship. That's the main reason we started. But as we got to thinking, it's for anything that anybody thinks. Now, unfortunately, we probably won't be able to help everybody with what they probably would like, but we're going to do our best to give a certain amount to whoever reaches out to us. That's a guaranteed.
Well, you know, I'm sorry, I got to take a breath here, but
That's fine.
that just shows y'all's heart and where he got his heart from.
Most
Because if
definitely.
that's the foundation, I mean, that's just amazing. You don't run into this every day
Correct.
nowadays, you know. But I mean, we got the event coming up 1st of June. It's going to be huge. And I've already got my cornhole partner. They're supposed to be
Good deal.
signing us up. So
Good deal.
would y'all mind telling us a little bit about the event? I mean, we got some bands. We got the tournament going on.
I can tell.
Yes, sir.
I can tell.
Okay.
Yeah, go
She's
ahead.
gonna tell you.
Sorry, I'll wipe the tears.
I'm just nothing but a fat teddy bear, okay? Trust me.
So Friday night, June 4th, we are having the opening ceremonies for the hashtag Live on Austin Foundation. It's going to be at the Ellis County Youth Expo. We have 2 bands lined up. We have West Davison, the High Tower, and then we're going to close out with Saints 11. We also have a cornhole tournament going on, which you know of. We're going to have barbecue and snow cones and bounce houses and cotton candy and funnel cakes and corn in a cup and just lots of fun stuff. Donate Life will be out there also taking, anyone that would like to sign up as a donor. We're going to have the actual helicopter, Care Flight helicopter that transported Austin out there.
Very nice.
They're going to land. It'll be his actual pilot. Unfortunately, the nurse and the medic had prior engagements, but it'll be the actual pilot that'll be there. TxDOT will be there with a rollover vehicle. We're planning on Waxahachie PD being there representing hashtag Buckle Up for Austin to promote safety. So not only is it just going to be a great time, but it's also a time for us to promote safety for the kids and for the community and, just do what Austin would want us to do. I mean, he had such a giving heart and he really wants us to give back to the community. It's really laid upon our hearts to do that and to protect as many people as we can. So that's our mission now.
And we will have a live auction and a
yeah.
silent auction going on that night as well.
Lots of
my
great
understanding
items.
Okay, so we need items, folks. We need items. So the businesses out there, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong from our last conversation, anything from gift certificates for food to, cookers, smokers, you name it, cornhole sets.
Whatever.
Yes, sir.
If you've got something out there for your business, please make sure just to donate just a little bit and give back and help this foundation even reach more. I mean, just listen to what they're talking about. I mean, it's amazing because y'all have not missed anything in this. I mean, the TxDOT, I mean, you name all the functionalities of this thing and how far reaching it is and how impactful it is, as far as the kids in this county and just being a little bit safer.
Yes, sir.
We have been so blessed with the recognition. Unfortunately, it took our son, which is not fair for us, but
yeah,
God has a plan. And, unfortunately it took this for us to realize some of the things that need to be changed. And TxDOT has been amazing. They've worked with us a lot. We've done actually a videoed interview a couple of weeks ago. I know that the boys just had an interview with one of the news channels, and I know that
Yes.
USA Today is supposed to be coming down on Thursday. So we have
Wednesday.
Wednesday. We have an interview with USA Today
Oh, okay.
on Wednesday. But, it's really everything that we do now is through Austin. And like I said, God had a plan, and that's our focus now, is to carry out that plan.
Well, and there's a Bible quote that y'all put on the website that I love, which is, you mind, Tara, saying that real quick?
Oh, I have to think about it. So
Right
it's
there.
Exodus 14:14.
Uh-huh.
And the Lord will fight for you. All you have to do is stand still. So that was actually, there's a little story behind that. That was Austin's favorite, but it was actually from a young man in Ennis. His name is John, and his older brother is Caden Crow. And Austin was really good friends with him. And little John had cancer many years ago, several years ago. And Austin wore that bracelet. It said the same thing. We buried him in that bracelet.
In that bracelet.
So that was Austin's favorite scripture, and it goes back to that. But he
Wow.
actually, we left that bracelet on him whenever we buried him.
Well, that quote's powerful, because y'all are doing the work that is there. And folks, anything that you could possibly give, if you just show up, it's $10 to get in. It
Yes,
is
sir.
kid friendly. My understanding also is it's BYOB.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, if you got to get your light on or whatever, you can bring that. But because I ain't doing cornhole with anything in my hand other than a Dr. Pepper. But,
That's right.
but no, just this story has touched me in a lot of ways, just because the way that everybody has rallied. All these different departments don't have to come together and do all this stuff. All these kids don't have to make sure that the blessings that Austin put out there are ever forgotten. And it doesn't seem like that's going to happen. Y'all didn't have to do all this, especially with the grief that you're going through. And if any way that we can help out, because, I'm sure y'all would say a smile on a child's face is God's grace,
Absolutely.
But is there any other things that we could go out there and do for y'all that we need to rally around? So we need, like golf, we need more donation items, right?
We could use a few more. We're like I said, we've been blessed, but at this time, I do want to throw out there, we'll accept anything, but it's getting time to not shut it down. But if donations are welcome still, if there's any sponsorship, just know that it's too late. We've already got the shirts. They're in the print process, so
Sure.
we they won't make it on, but we'll still get them a banner, and that's a couple days away. We'll turn all that in, but we're not going to. Anybody that would like to donate to the foundation, we're definitely not going to turn them away. There's just some, it's getting closer, as you know, and there's just some things that we put out at the beginning that may not. We'll work with them on whatever, because we had certain items, if certain sponsorship levels that they were going to get items and stuff like that. We'll work with them
Sure.
on that for sure.
Well, I'm just going to say it one more time to y'all. Blessed to have met both of y'all, and blessed to be able to put this message out there in all sincerity. It's an amazing thing that y'all are doing in honor of Austin. And, just getting to talk to some of the athletes, some of the kids from Paris and stuff, they all, whenever I get to talk to them at a game or something, hey, do you got some more information about that, et cetera? And it's kind of getting a little thing going here in the county. But folks, I'm just telling you, if you grab your checkbook, okay?
Yes,
you
sir.
You don't need a name on the back of your shirt to do something good in this county. You don't need it on the front, whatever. Play for the team, play for who's on the front of the shirt. Now, in this case, it's going to be Live on Austin. That's who
sir.
we want to play for. And I appreciate y'all so much for joining us today. And as always, if there's anything else we can do, we're planning on being out there that night. And I
Great.
hope we walking away with a couple of prizes.
There
They
you
don't
go.
ever happen for me.
For sure.
But, you know, my buddy's like, you know, Tater, we ain't good enough for that cornhole tournament yet. And I was like, well, we can go play anyways. So
We're
you
on
don't
to
have to be good, folks. You got to
That's
go have
correct.
some fun and
Have some
learn a
fun.
little bit more about safety through TxDOT. Learn a little bit
Correct.
more about organ donation. That's an underrated thing here. You know, we always talk about blood
Correct.
donations, but very seldom we talk about organ donation. But
Correct.
y'all are doing yeoman's work, and we can't thank you enough through the county for spotlighting this, and not only spotlighting it, but keeping it in the spotlight so this doesn't go away and some of these
Correct.
things get taken away from our youth.
Well, that's our goal is to continue this every year and make it bigger. And I mean, you never know. We may get to. There was a lot of people that rallied around us when this happened, and we may go further than Waxahachie and Ennis. You know, we may go into some of the other schools if we get big enough, because those schools, as far as scholarships, rallied around us to help us. So my goal is to make this as big as I can get it, and help as many people as I can, and that's
Well,
where we're going.
So do we have a goal for this year, or?
I don't,
Okay.
just because, I mean, and I'm going to be realistic. If you say a goal, right now we're at 4 teams in the cornhole that have pre-registered,
Yeah.
and you don't have to, you don't have to. And right now we're at 28 teams. So we're going to be for the baseball tournament.
Wow.
So we're going to be in 2 locations. We're going to be at the Waxahachie Optimist, and we're going to be at the Ennis Bluebonnet Park. And that's, as of right now,
Sure.
that's where we are on that. And with all this rain, you never know. We may have.
We're hoping for more.
We're hoping for more. But to be realistic, where we're at right now, I am good with.
Gotcha.
Would like it to be bigger at this year, but I mean, just the first year, I'm not one that's going to be sitting here saying, "Oh, we gotta pack every one." Do we want to? Yes, but 28 teams is good. I mean, that's I've to go to another complex and have to play there is good for me. And then I know for a fact we'll probably have another 20 teams, and that's probably lowballing it. But if we could get 25, 30 teams for cornhole, I'm happy with that as well, because it's only going to get bigger and better, for sure.
Well, folks, I'll tell you right now, make sure that you got the dates marked, okay? June 4th
For
is
sure.
the big opening day. The 5th and the 6th is the tournament for baseball, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So June the 4th, mark your calendar. Get you a cornhole partner. You ain't got to be good. You ain't got to
That's
score
right.
points for a national tournament or anything. All right. I mean, they got cups of corn. I mean, what else could you want in this
Come
life?
on.
Okay.
Right?
I mean,
We got brisket.
I
We
can
got
drink
all of it.
corn. What I need, right?
That's right.
But
That's
you can have a
correct.
good time. It's family friendly. Bring your whole family. That's $10 to get in and help these 2 great individuals and this great foundation. Keep this going and spread the word on safety, on organ donation, all these major things that affect the youth of our county. And once again, just thank you for the blessings that y'all are bestowing upon us. And, I know that y'all are making an impact, which means Austin will always be making an impact.
For sure.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Well, we can't thank the county enough. I mean, and I know that we've probably said this before, but the entire county, was behind us and is still behind us. So huge thank you to them. Huge thank you to the schools, to the coaches, everybody. I mean, I truly did not know, when someone passes away, you think that's it. I mean, it's over. And here we are 7 or 8 months later, and we're still, of course, I'll always celebrate him, but the entire county is still celebrating him. And that's such a blessing. I mean, it just really is a blessing to me to know that my kid was loved by so many people.
Well, and, we talked about this before, though. it wasn't just baseball.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
I mean, I was at the Waxahachie Midlothian game, and all those girls came out with green ribbons during volleyball season. I mean, he had a bigger impact. I mean, the footprint that he's left, you know, is massive. And it's just, I mean, you know, I always talk about, you know, the whole sand, walking in the sand with God. That's one of my favorite little deals. And, you know, Austin's walking with each and every one of us in this county right now. And every step we take, he's leaving his impression on all these young folks. And
For sure.
like I said, I'm an emotional teddy bear, and, you know, but I mean, this is one of those things that I always say in Ellis County, we always can.
Yes,
We
sir.
just need somebody to show us the way, and it's leadership like y'all and the hearts that y'all have. And like I said, if that heart's not there, is Austin a different person? Yes. Y'all,
Right.
I mean, by doing that as parents, and you're to be commended for that, above and beyond the foundation. Because like I said, the amount of
you.
lives touched is endless. And we do
Correct.
appreciate y'all.
Well, we want to thank DownHome Sports as well.
Yes,
I
absolutely.
mean, absolutely. You guys, thank you very much for doing this. This is
No
awesome.
problems. All right.
Elite Foot and Body Therapeutic Massage and Assisted Stretching. We push our bodies to the limit, trying to gain that extra edge to be ready to take the field when that whistle blows. So take care of the most important equipment, your body, with massage, compression therapy, and assisted stretching. So when you take the field, you're ready to be elite. Elite Foot and Body at 3271 FM 663 in Midlothian, Texas. Call 214-817-8545 to set your appointment today. today's busy schedules, we need flexibility. Pinnacle Bank is the way banking should be, with ATM Live powered by the people. They have hours that make it easy. Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. You can just pull up to one of the easy to access ATMs, where there's always someone live, friendly, and knowledgeable to help you. Pinnacle Bank, not just another bank in Texas, but Texas in a bank. Member FDIC.
We are welcoming in Life Waxahachie Baseball team, the area champs, Life Waxahachie Baseball team. We got Coach Robinson, Dominic Ortiz, Julian Keys joining us. Thank y'all so much for taking time out of your evening. Coach Robinson, we were talking a little bit before we started recording, but congratulations on the season. Overall, how do you think it went? I know there's only one at the end of every year that gets to say that they're happy. But overall, on the season, how do you think, in your book, everything played out?
And it was an amazing year. I mean, the boys played hard all year long, and it kind of all came together on two special days for us. When we went out there, went up to Salina, number 4 ranked team in the state, and they beat us the first game, but we competed and kept the game close. Kind of gave us a little confidence going into it, and was able to pull out game 2, and then coming home and winning game 3 on our field was really special. So these boys, I would definitely consider the season a success. Sounds nice to hear the area champs next to our name. It's pretty cool. First time in school history for the baseball program. So it was a pretty special year. Like we talked about earlier, something to build on, something to set that bar for the groups to follow. And we're really proud of these boys.
Well, Julian, how does it feel to be part of a team that gets that big home win? Because y'all hosted your first series ever up there live this year. How did it feel to be a part of just that, not just the area deal, but to actually have playoff baseball right there in your own ballpark?
It was great. It was like a history making it because it's never happened at Life School, and for us to do that, it felt really special because I've been saying it since my freshman year that we would be the team that would go far. So for us to not only make it to area and be champs, but to host it at our own field, it was a really good experience. And I'm glad I was able to share with my friends, which is my team, my brothers, and with the coaches. I appreciate them.
Well, Dominic is one of the leaders on the mound, towing the rubber, the most innings pitched on the team, and going out there against Salina, against Melissa, even though it didn't turn out the way that you wanted, but going out there and competing. Talk about how it felt getting in the playoffs, getting those first 2 round wins, especially against, like Coach said, state ranked number 4 Salina. Tow that rubber and compete in playoff baseball. How'd it feel?
For me, just having the chance to come out there and have the whole game to myself, and be able to go the whole time was just special. It was very intense, very intimidating. After I saw how the fight that they put up against Ethan, I knew that I had to show out that day. And, me pulling through was just a special moment that I'll always remember.
Well, Coach, I mean, when you hear these young men talk about, the specialty of this and, just how it's touching them to do this for their teammates, that's got to make you feel great as a coach that, like we've talked about before, between the lines or outside the lines, you're helping produce some really good young men.
Yeah, I mean, this group has been, they've been with us since the beginning. We was talking about the other day, every one of those seniors has been here all 4 years. And been together. Hasn't been any kids moving in and out. They've all been together. Man, you have to run to the school after practice. They just love each other, love to hang around each other. They'll sit out in the parking lot and talk for hours after practices, after games. It's just a really close, tight-knit group, that me and my other coaches, we're definitely going to miss them in the future. Just being around them every single day. It'll be weird next year getting the athletic period and not having them with me. It'll be a new experience for me.
Well, Julian, y'all trying to get Coach in trouble by not letting him go home, or?
No, sir. We just like to hang around each other.
Well, Julian, you talk about the specialists of the team and how close you guys are, but how much has Coach meant to you and the other coaches as far as not only your development on the field but off?
Well, the fact that they've coached me, they just taught me many life lessons, and they've been with us both mentally and emotionally. Because I know we had a close friend that passed away a few months back, and the coaches made sure to make it known that they were always there for us. So I'm glad that they're with me on the field and off the field as well.
Well, Dominic, I got to know, anytime you win a playoff series is great, right? Anytime you win a game is great. But to beat a team like Salina on a walk-off, game 3 at your park, talk about the atmosphere, not only outside of the field in the stands, but what you guys were going through that moment that winning run across that plate and you were area champs.
It was very it was kind of like uplifting yet really intense energy, because when they hit a homer off of me, and it got quiet on our side, and then when they finally went over, Salina was clapping, cheering, and I was like, I started to stress out. So now it's like stressful energy, but then you had everyone else cheering us on, like, "Nah, y'all got this, y'all got this." So then I ended up pulling through that inning, and then when Joey's up to bat, it's 2 outs, 2 strikes, 1 ball. And I couldn't even breathe, because in my head, I'm like, I don't want it to end off of them getting a home run or anything, and then, then they get another one. So I can't breathe. And as soon as he hit that ball, I was able to, I was breathing hard, heavy, hearing the crowd just cheer. It was just amazing. It was like, we were like family. It was like a family gathering. We were all cheering on about, our accomplishments.
Well, Coach, how hard is it? Because in those moments, and you played the game, as a player, but as a coach, you can only do so much. You can write the lineup, you can give the signs, give them direction, but at the end of the day, it comes down to the players getting the job done. Talk about when you're over there in the third base coaching box. When you're over there in the third base coaching box and that's going on, there's not much you can do, but I know you got to be bottled up like you're just wanting to boil over, but you got to keep your calm. Talk about being the leader and emotionally keeping it in and being an example for these kids to see that even in tough situations, keep your cool, do your job that you know how to do, and good things will happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of my personality, just to stay even. It's not too high, not too low, and hopefully that rubs off on the kids. But man, inside, bombing that 7th inning with Joey at the plate, it was tough to keep it in and keep it calm, and just encourage him that even though he had 2 strikes on him against a pretty good arm, that he was the right person for the job and was able to get it done. But it's tough sometimes to not get too excited throughout the game and just remain calm and control things and just try to stay on top of what we're trying to do on the baseball field.
Well, Julian, from a player's perspective, what was that moment like for you?
I'd always had a close relationship with Joey, so seeing him grow up from a freshman to how he is now as a sophomore, it was really nice to see that. So I saw him take 2 strikes right down the middle, but even though everyone thought hope was lost, I still was holding on. I was like, yeah, Joey got this, Joey got it. And then when it happened, I was like, yeah, he did it. So I knew I felt it in my heart that he could do it, and he produced.
Well, Dominic, will you ever forget the crack of the bat on that swing?
When Joey hit that, it was just amazing to see, because he's so young. He's only a sophomore, and that moment is special to him, and it was special to all of us as a family. And so I just remember just seeing it. Just as soon as I saw it go up, I already knew it was over. Like, we won. I would always remember that swing, that sound, and the cheering that the fans had.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Coach Robinson, talk about, I know the Melissa series didn't go the way that you wanted it to, but they were a dang good ball club. Talk about the experience that, even though, it didn't pan out like you wanted, like you said, now the bar is set. for these young guys, these guys that are still here, will be seniors, will be juniors next year. Talk about what you think was gained by, even though you weren't regional semifinalist champions or anything like that, getting there and getting to play that game meant more than just what the scoreboard indicated.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, like we told the boys going in, we knew Melissa was a really good ball club. I mean, they finished fourth in their district, but probably best district in the state with Salina at the top of it, and in Aubrey, 2 ranked teams in it. So we knew they were a really good ball club, and everything we heard on them was we were going to have to play really good to have a chance to win. Obviously, it didn't turn out like we wanted it to. Some things, we didn't hit the ball well, some other things, but just the atmosphere that first day, that Friday. I mean, you'd think Friday at 5 o'clock in Irving, there wouldn't be people would have a hard time getting there, but the stands were packed. The atmosphere was amazing, and just the younger boys getting to see what that feels like as opposed to just a regular season game. Hopefully it will be motivation for them to work hard this summer to try to get back there and experience it again. And every round in the playoffs, you go up, it gets better and better. But just the crowd was amazing. Our fans came out and showed a ton of support for us. And they had a bunch of fans there as well. So it was a packed place, and it was a super exciting and a really good experience for everybody. And hopefully young kids will use it as motivation to try to get back there next year. So we'll see.
Well, Julian, what's one thing that you're going to take away from this season and continue through your life with, and just, as a motivational deal?
I think one thing that I could take away from this season is like the family aspect of being around everyone and all the different personalities I've worked with just being on this team, because everybody's different and everybody works differently. But the way we collided this season and our chemistry, it was almost perfect. So I want to take that with me throughout life and try to create relationships like that and just have that same chemistry that I could have with them.
Very nice. What about you, Dominic?
For me, it would just be to never give up, because there was moments, especially in pitching, when I don't throw as hard as others, that I would doubt myself. And I learned that, sometimes it's okay to not have certain aspects that others have, but you have a different one. And so I just, instead of giving up, I just learned to just keep on going, keep on pushing, and keep on doing what I'm good at.
Awesome. Awesome. Coach Robinson, kind of the same question to you. In your coaching career, when you take a step back and look at this year in particular, outside of any of the accolades, what's something about this team, especially that group of seniors, that you're going to remember?
I mean, just the growth in that group of seniors. Like I said, they've been with me since they were freshmen, and just the growth to see them grow up as young men, coming into me and making some interesting choices in the classroom as far as some behavior stuff, and watching them grow up to becoming pretty much where there's no issues at all in that their senior years, and watching them grow up and watching them learn how to be leaders. As we talk to the younger kids, that's the biggest thing we're going to miss from this group is their leadership, how they were always the first ones to go pick the field up, to put the machine up, to pick up baseballs. We didn't have to ask them to go do it. They just did it. So it was just watching them develop into the outstanding young leaders that they are, and just excited to see what they've got in the future. All of them have bright futures ahead of them, and just excited to see what they can do.
Well, awesome. Well, guys, we appreciate you taking time out of your evenings to speak with us. Again, congratulations on the season, the success that you guys had, and the mark that now has been left, the bar that has been set. So, Julian, Dominic, Coach Robinson, we appreciate you. Hopefully we can have you on again. Maybe this off-season talk just a little more baseball, and then get prepared for next year. We know great things are ahead. So congratulations again. Thank you all so much.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for having us, guys. Appreciate it.
No problem.
In Ellis County, there's only one place to go. Doe City Pizza and Burgers. But don't worry, they got you also covered on ice cream as well. All kinds of flavors made in-house, just specially for you. and toppings to boot, as many as you like. So count your blessings for Doe City Pizza and Burgers and those big old scoops the size of Texas. Made just the way you want. So head on down to Doe City where the service and food are both delicious. Doe City Pizza and Burgers located in Red Oak, Texas, right across from the high school. Come on down and try them.
We're welcoming in now the Ennis Lions baseball team. We got Coach Monreal. We got Jeremiah Sanchez. We got Luke Regas joining us. We thank y'all for taking time out of your evenings to spend some quality baseball talking with us. We'll try to do y'all as much justice as we can. We'll start with you, Coach Monreal. I know, there's only one team at the end of it all that gets to be happy and raise the trophy and everything, but you area champions. You ran into Corsicana for about the millionth time on the season. But overall, before we start talking about the series specifically, how do you think the season as a whole went for your guys, and where do you think the bar is now set moving forward?
Well, it didn't end like we wanted to, but I couldn't be, I told them after the game, I couldn't be more proud of what they've done and what they've accomplished. And, I mean, you go from at the very beginning of the year when they come out with all these predictions and all these rankings and all that, which I don't ever look at them, but they didn't even have us, predicted to make the playoffs in our district. So, that was something that we kind of just kept a chip on our shoulder. And I kept telling them, like, we know what we have in here as a group and we know what we can do. And I think this year, honestly, it wasn't a surprise to me. I thought we had that capability in us. And, I think things would have worked out and, if some people wouldn't have got some timely injuries there, we'd be okay. But, things happen and, we are area champs and the kids, that they did something that's extremely special. And, we have a lot coming back from that core group. So I'm excited about it. I'm extremely proud of what they've done. And honestly, for this group right here, it's the sky's the limit. I mean, they're really good, and the best part about them is they have the chip on their shoulder, and they have that grittiness and griminess that really extends throughout the playoffs. And I think that really showed, and that's one of the most things that I'm proud of.
Well, Jeremiah, I mean, that infield was flashing leather all year long, and it seemed like every time I'd turn around in the game, y'all returned double play. Just talk about the tightness of that infield and how y'all had your pitchers back the whole time.
Well, my main job on the field and my mindset was I want the ball every time. And so I think that kind of helped the factor of taking a lot of pressure off of me and my pitcher, knowing that he got a guy or he's got him in the infield that's got him that can actually make the plays and stuff. So me and Eric worked really well up the middle. And, I mean, it's going to hurt having them gone next year, but I think we have a few guys that step up in the spot and take that charge. So I'm really excited for next year.
Well, Luke, talk about the resilience and the fight of this team. It wasn't the only time in the playoffs that you guys went down in a game. Y'all had to fight back several times. Talk about just this grouped grit, determination, and how as a team that even in a loss, let's say game one, that you guys shook it off, came back and fought to force a game three or even win a game three. Talk about how you guys stuck together and fought it out.
I mean, like Monreal said, we were ranked 6th in our district. We weren't supposed to even make playoffs, but we know that's false. Like, there's just we don't give up. There's a lot more to us than just 9 guys out on that field. So we just have so much more heart than I think other teams do. And I mean, we made it a lot further than most people thought we would. We turned a lot of heads and kind of put us on the map just because we played with heart. And I mean, Ennis boys, man.
Well, Coach, I mean, it seemed like, your team took on your personality. You never saw you getting upset. Nothing's ever wrong. You always had that one look of, we're just going to keep pushing. I know what my guys have got. How great is it as a coach when you see the team take on that kind of personality? There was a couple of times, in the first series where, y'all were down by a bunch of runs and you come back. I mean, let's talk about that game that was at home. And, just that dugout never gave up.
Yeah, that goes to all year long. I've been telling the guys that, it's just not the 9 guys on the field. It takes everybody in there to do what they need to do. It takes everybody to really become a team and to be special. And I think the biggest thing that helped us through this year is, I can go through the varsity lineup and everything, and I think about every guy in some way, shape, or form end up helping us win a game, whether it be coming in and courtesy running or coming in and pitching in a tournament or something like that. So they found a role. And with the team, I knew what we had when it came to the offense, and I knew the biggest thing was that we had a bunch of guys that bought into, being tough outs and not striking out and not taking the big swing and putting the ball in play and running. And, we really work taking extra bags and getting good reads. And, I think in our district, we were one of the top in the district scoring runs. And that really helped us. And I just knew that we weren't going to give in. And if we could just get something going, we're going to be okay. And that's kind of what the kids know. And the kids, they don't ever panic. They don't ever freak out. They stay locked in and they just keep chipping away. And, all we really needed in those series is a foot in the door, and you give us a little crack and, a lot of times the floodgates opened up. And I'm extremely proud of them, and that's the way we're going to have to win. And we had a good group of seniors. We had a core group, and they really helped. But I do think we have some youngsters coming up that are going to step in and be okay. And that's what I'm happy about. And, with a bunch of those young ones getting to come up and getting to see it and getting to run and getting to, play a little defense every now and then. But to getting to see what it's like to play high school baseball and to getting to see what it's like to go deep in the playoffs to where, we sold out a couple crowds there, and that's awesome for them to see that. And, it's all about experience, and we got a ton of experience this year, and we're going to roll it over into next year.
Well, Jeremiah, talk about, in today's day and age, everybody relies on a kid or two to hit the long ball. Somebody to get one over and get a couple of runs big. And Coach Monreal talked about the runs that you guys put up, and it wasn't through the long ball. There are a lot of doubles, hitting runs. You're talking about moving guys up with bunts. Talk about your offense. How proud of you guys that y'all dug in. It wasn't with the long ball, but you dang sure fought harder than almost anybody else in the state, in the district, let alone of just making the other defense work.
Our main thing was find a way on base, and any way, anyhow, and execute your job. So if that was get the bunt down, get the bunt down. And we really praised that in practice. And going on to our offense, in games, like Coach said, bunts will win you a game. And the little things, little details will win you games. So, and our main focus, like you said, the long ball wasn't our thing. We had one or two that would come up, maybe crush a double here and there, but we really relied on moving runners over, stealing bags, putting bunts down, and then it just makes it simpler for us when we knock a base hit and don't have to do too much, at the plate. So.
Well, Luke, it's all about the pitching staff. Just like y'all were putting the pressure on them on the offensive side, y'all pretty much kept the pressure on with pitch selection all season long. Y'all were challenging people instead of just, hey, we're going to try to dink and dunk away from them. And just talk from a catcher's perspective, how great that is.
Oh, it's fantastic. When we have pitchers like we did, we had so much depth and just had guys that would go out there and just fill up the zone. And make the hitters get themselves out. We didn't bank off the strikeout like a lot of guys do. Like, as a catcher, it makes me look better. It makes me enjoy my job behind the plate a lot more. You know, having guys, they'll fill up the zone for you. And we have a great defense behind us. I mean, Jeremiah, great shortstop, Eric, Ryan Todd at third base, Clayton Jenkins first base. We have a full defense that'll just get the job done. So it lets our pitchers go out there and fill up the zone and get outs.
Coach Monreal, talk about the two guys we got on here with us playing two pretty key leadership positions in catcher and shortstop. Talk about the responsibility that these two young men shouldered and how they helped kind of pave the way for the rest of the team.
Well, these two young guys, I mean, I'm happy to have them back. I mean, that's huge. What people don't know is, you know, I give Jeremiah a huge responsibility, and you know, he basically every job he has is a read. He has to make everybody right. If somebody screws up on a bunt coverage, if somebody does something right, Jeremiah has to see it and make them right. And you know, Jeremiah's a smart, savvy baseball player, and he's just grown with it and took off. And you know, that's one thing you ain't got to worry about. I ain't got to worry about nobody being out of place, because he's going to figure it out and he's going to make them right. And with having Luke behind the plate, a lot of things that people don't realize is, you know, having somebody back there that's going to block a 0-2 curveball in the dirt that you can trust, not only for like a coach standpoint, but as a pitcher, man, it makes it a lot easier being able to pitch your game and not have to worry about, is he going to block this? Are they going to score a run? Are they going to advance a runner? And both of them are, you know, I always tell them, you know, there are kids that want to play baseball, and then there's baseball players. And both these guys are baseball players. You know, they love the game, and they're going to learn. And you know, they're baseball dudes, and they're going to keep learning. And any little nugget I can throw them their way, and you know, they just take it in like a sponge. And that's what's extremely exciting about this next year is, you know, they make my job easier. Get them on the bus and let them play. So that's how I feel.
Well, Jeremiah, what's the biggest thing you're going to take away from this season going into next year?
Biggest thing would probably, we turned a lot of heads this year, and we really found out who we were as a group. And knowing that the city will come support us as they did, I think that helps a lot too. So I'm looking forward to next year. I'm really excited about the upcoming guys, and I think we got a lot more to prove.
Awesome. What about you, Luke?
That's just the beginning. I think we proved ourselves. Like, Ennis Baseball is here now. I mean, we're known as a football school, but I mean, Ennis Baseball is here, and we turned a lot of heads. I think we can go even further next season. I don't think this is the end of it. So I don't know. I think we can go a lot further.
That first comment said a lot, let me tell you. I like it.
Well, Coach, you can tell by these two boys there's a lot of confidence. A lot of confidence in the program, and I think that stems through you, but it stems through them as well. And so we wanted to say thank y'all for jumping on with us. Congratulations, area champs, a successful season. But I think we can tell that the job is not done, and we wish y'all the best of luck. And so hopefully we can have you on again, maybe this off season, talk a little more baseball, and then pick your brain in preparation for next year. So thank y'all so much. Congratulations again. And we look forward to see what the future holds.
Yes, sir.
Thank y'all.
Appreciate you having
Appreciate
us.
it. Thank y'all.
With today's busy schedules, we need flexibility. Pinnacle Bank is the way banking should be. With ATM Live, powered by the people. They have hours that make it easy. Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. You can just pull up to one of the easy-to-access ATMs, where there's always someone live, friendly, and knowledgeable to help you. Pinnacle Bank, not just another bank in Texas, but Texas in a bank. Member FDIC.
All right, we are welcoming in your by-district champion Red Oak Lady Hawks softball team. We got Coach Rogers, Coach Roberts, and the honorable mention all-district Tori Fowler here with us. We thank y'all so much for taking time out of your evenings to jump on and talk a little Red Oak softball. Coach Rogers, we'll start with you. One, congratulations to your staff being named Staff of the Year. That's a pretty high honor, and that's something you kind of got to lean and be proud of, because I'm gonna guess you're a pretty humble guy. You're gonna fall some of this on Coach Roberts as well. But talk about how you felt the staff did and how proud you guys are by getting that accolade.
Yeah, it's definitely a big honor. Definitely Coach Roberts, Coach Hutch, both did a great job for us. Coach Roberts handles all the pitching and all the catching stuff that we do. And, you know, the name of the game is pitching. If you can't pitch, you're not going to win. So, yeah, definitely what she did with the pitching staff this year is amazing. A big turnaround from the previous years, and definitely put us in the right direction to get ready for the second half of district to win games and to go undefeated in district at that point. You know, we had lost 2 games the first half, and so making the adjustments that she made with our pitching staff to attack hitters late in district play really set us moving forward towards the playoffs. We just kept rolling. So, yeah, definitely.
Well, Coach Rogers just got touched on one of my questions for Coach Roberts, which was y'all were aggressive with your pitch selection. And you don't see a lot of teams do that. And how much faith do you have in these young ladies to be able to go with that, and that your catcher's going to execute and block when you're pitching that tight end?
I mean, when you have somebody like Dylan, who, as the year went on, got more confident in what she was doing on the mound, I mean, it was easy on my part because, you know, I feel like we had that relationship, me, Dylan, and our catcher, Leah, where we all knew what she wanted in that moment to call, what pitch she wanted to throw. And so, you know, as the year went on, it was like, all right, yeah, I know what she wants here. Leah knows what she wants here. She knows where to set up. And also our catcher just did great at keeping the ball in front of her as we went on in the year. So, I mean, yeah, when you have somebody who's confident on the mound like Dylan is, it makes my job a lot easier when I'm calling pitches.
Well, Coach Roberts, let's talk about Leah for a second. You know, I mean, just the bond, it seemed like a couple of games I was there to watch with y'all, it just seemed like y'all had a pretty tight bond between the battery and you know, and that's not often the case in most high school teams. It takes a little bit of time to build that up. What made it easy to build that bond so quick?
I mean, we all just have that trust and respect with each other. I was a catcher myself, so I kind of understand how that relationship works between a pitcher and a catcher. And Leah, who does not have that much catching experience, did such a good job this year building that bond with Dylan. And it's just, I mean, it starts with friendship. You know, if you're friends off the field, then you're friends on the field too. And that's how it worked with these girls. They were all friends, no matter what they did. And so that bond between those two, I just kind of snuck my way in there. And, you know, we gained that respect and that trust with each other.
Well, Tori, from the player's perspective, talk about when you take a step back after the year's over and you're looking back, the relationships that you had with the coaches, what they brought to the table, and the things on and off the field that you're going to take with you long past playing the game of softball.
So this was my first year playing since I was 8 years old. And I've been with a lot of sports teams, but I've never had a bond like me and this team have had. And I think that says a lot because the short amount of time I've spent with them, they've just like showed me how much like respect players can have for each other and like how much fun you can have on a team, like whether you win or lose. Like it didn't matter. Even when we lost, on the bus rides, we always listened to music. We had fun. We lifted each other up. It was just great energy all season round.
Well, Coach Rogers, I mean, you know, for those people that don't watch softball, I mean, they don't get it, right? A dugout in a softball game is a lot different than a baseball game. That's that's the first big difference in the sport. But, I mean, your girls are coming in. You know, I had a chance to film from the dugout one time, and your girls are coming in there and telling me, she got a hit. Get a picture of her. You know, it wasn't about themselves. It was about the team. I mean, how as a coach, that's got to, you know, make your heart be overjoyed.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, anytime you can have a group of kids that work more about winning than their individual stats or what they individually do in the game, it makes life a lot easier. And so, that's kind of the team chemistry and the team mindset the whole year. I think it starts with our seniors and it works its way down. That we had kids that they didn't care if their name was in the paper the next day. I mean, that's great. I mean, I think that they want that. They want that recognition for when they do well, but it wasn't the most important thing to them. And so, then you got freshman kids that are coming in and they learn that, they see that, and they realize, hey, that kid knocked in a run. Like that's important. The person that scored is important, but the person that knocked them in is important as well. And the person that moved that runner over, maybe by even an out, but moved him over and didn't strike it, that person's important. And I think they all feed off of that. And when the ultimate goal is to win at the varsity level, and that's first on their mind, it makes our job as coaches a lot easier, and it does make it more enjoyable. It makes it more fun as a team. So yeah.
Well, Coach Roberts, talk about as being the assistant, the relationship between you and Coach Rogers, and how there's a lot of coaches out in the coaching world that when it's their team, they're taking the reins and they're holding on because at the end of the day they're like it's my head. But Coach Rogers seems like the relationship is, you have the responsibility and you take it and run with it and you bounce ideas off each other. Talk about that relationship and how being under Coach Rogers has been a blessing and what it's been like for you.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Red Oak's only my second coaching job ever. I had, a previous one while I was finishing up school. So coming in, I had no idea what to expect, to be honest. Also, I had been with the all-female staff before. And so it's just different coming into that role. But I mean, right away, he was mentoring me on what to do, telling me, hey, don't just, stay in there. If you have an opinion, say it during practice, things like that. And so, yeah, I feel very well respected, coming in as a former catcher. That was, kind of my area that I knew, and he knew that, and we ran with it, and kind of like handed me that responsibility, which I love because that's probably my favorite part of the game is pitching and catching. And so, yeah, I just feel very well respected as somebody who's still really young in her career, and that, my opinion's heard and everything. So yeah, it's just, a mutual respect between the two of us. And I think we work well together.
Well, that's phenomenal. Well, Tori, y'all had a lot of great seniors that are going to graduate this year, and just talk about their leadership and what you're going to take from their example to continue on that Red Oak Lady Hawk way.
So my cousin Bree, she was actually one of the seniors. And what I learned from all of the seniors is to just take control out of every situation. And when things are going bad, to just talk to each athlete, maybe as a team or pull them to a side individually and just lift them up, give them a pep talk, tell them that, it's not an easy sport and that we're always going to have hard times and everything's not going to be like the way we want it to be. And so that's kind of what I just learned from them. They just always picked the team up and they always took leadership and just said what they needed to say without any bad energy, or they always kept good energy around, always uplifted the team, never judged anyone, anything like that. So that's what I'm going to take and do this year or next season.
Well, Coach Rogers, I want to ask you as a coach, when you have a season in a group that's so tight-knit, that's accomplished so much on the field, and while it didn't come out the way you wanted to, had a lot of good things. As a coach, when do you have to flip that switch where it sucks that it didn't get there, but now you've got to start looking forward to next year? Now you got to move past the girls that are going to be graduating and look to fill those holes. Is that as easy as it's at the end of the school year? That's when you flip that switch, or is it sooner than that?
I think, in all honesty, I think that is something that just is nonstop. I mean, I can tell you right now that I've got at least one incoming 7th grader that plays at a high level in the summer. We've got, I think, 5 incoming 8th graders, and then 3 or 4 coming in as freshmen that play at a high level. We as coaches have to know those things. And so we're constantly talking about the team that we have right now, the seniors we have next year as leaders, And also, we're talking about kids that are in our middle school program that are graders and eighth graders right now that won't even be here next year. So, that's a conversation that's in the coach's office all the time. It's happening with even our players. Dylan, for instance, here is only a sophomore. So those incoming eighth graders, they'll be freshmen when she's a senior. And like, hey, and I told her, hey, you need those kids to come in and be able to make an impact. So when Tori graduates, there's someone coming in to fill her shoes that can help you your senior year. So that conversation is always going on. And even with our current players that, hey, you've got to mentor those young kids because they're going to be there when you're an upperclassman. So, we'll have some of those kids up here in the summer. They'll work out on the field and get to know them before they even get done. Just like in all the other sports that have actual middle school teams. So it's ongoing.
Well, Coach Roberts, real quick, Coach Roberts kind of touched on this as well, but, as a woman in the sport that's played the sport and everything else, when people, look at softball and women's sports in general, right? And they say, oh, well, football's working out this summer and they're in the weight rooms and all that stuff. I mean, I know the ladies are up there lifting as well. They have the opportunities to come up and work out. Not everybody plays on a select team. You want to make sure that everybody gets those opportunities. Just talk about the importance of that off season, not only, from a softball standpoint, but from a team bonding standpoint.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, from team bonding, when you're together all year, not just those 4 or 5 months in, the spring, it makes all the difference. I mean, if we were to just, stop hanging out and everything and not see each other until January, I mean, that team chemistry is gone. So luckily we have a group of girls that like to work hard. They like the weight room. They've been asking, when are we going to get in the weight room? So, I mean, the off season is also, obviously extremely important. And I think just, the way the sport has changed itself, even, when I was in high school 10 or so years ago, you didn't see the home runs that you see now. And that's from the off season and preparing for that. So it's really important. We're honestly really excited for the off season, which is usually not the case. Who wants to go in the weight room as opposed to being on the field and hitting BP? But it's really important. We have a group of girls that are really excited for it. The coaching staff are excited for it. So, even though our season came to an end and we're closing that out and we're going to miss the seniors, we're also really excited to keep building on what we did this year on the field and off the field.
Now, Tori, you said it was your first time back on the diamond since you were 8 years old, and you walk away with an all-district team on honorable mention. Talk about what that means, but also, does that kind of fuel the fire that, oh, hey, I got something special here, and drive to set that bar a little higher for next year?
Yes, sir. So this season, in the off season, I just want to work on getting better and catching back up on what I missed for all those years. And so playing again has just showed me how difficult the sport actually is. But if you work hard and put your mind to it, you can do whatever you want. And I just want to show the young girls, it doesn't matter how long you've been playing the sport. It just matters how hard you work and how much time and effort you put into the sport. And you just have to have love for the sport, or else you're not gonna find the love you want for it, or the passion to make you get better. And so that's what this past season just showed me, that I just want to work harder and I want to get better and I want to make our team next year as good as we can be. So
Awesome.
Big amen on that.
Well, Coach Rogers, season's come to a close. What's maybe one thing from this group this past season that's going to stick in your mind that may last, that you took and maybe going to grow from? What's something that this year really left imprinted on you?
Probably say the selflessness of all the players, that team first attitude. That's just very rare to have a team that really cares about the team over the individual. And this team really did that. And I think that's going to definitely stick with me. And I hope it really rubs off on the younger kids as well, so that that's not just a one-time thing, but that it's something that is something we're known for and that we see happen over and over again with our kids.
Well, what about you, Coach Roberts? Is there any one particular thing that you're going to take away from this season?
I mean, we just had so much fun this year. And it was one of those things where I went home and I was still thinking about softball. I'm sure my husband really appreciated that. But we were all just a unit this year. We were a family. And, that's, something I wanted being a coach. I didn't expect it to be my third year where I was already going to miss this whole group and don't want any of them to leave. But we just had so much fun this year. These girls became, best friends. They still do stuff together, even though the season has ended. But yeah, the whole selflessness thing too is just, honestly kind of amazing, especially in the day and age of social media and where it's all about putting your stats on Twitter or Facebook. These girls just weren't like that. They were to celebrate the team, not celebrating the individual. So this is just such a special group of girls. And I think we've all built bonds and friendships that are gonna, last past high school for them. So yeah, I mean, this year, honestly, it was just amazing. It was so much fun.
Well, Tori, I got one last quick little fun question for you. Is the Big Red Chicken coming back next year?
Yes, sir. We want to get Tina. That's her name. So I'm planning on getting Tina a little husband named Tony.
Okay.
So there might be 2 next season. But yeah, it's going to be fun. There's going to be a lot of noise in the dugout too. So
there we go.
Awesome. Well, Coach Rogers, Coach Roberts, Tori, we thank y'all so much for taking time out of your evening. Congratulations. Again, by district champions. But again, the heck of a season. You talk about the selflessness and just the team that y'all got to experience. It was fun to watch. And then we know that you'll be back next year stronger than ever. So again, congratulations. Thanks for joining us. And hopefully we can have y'all on maybe in the off season updating us on how the program is continuing to develop. So thank y'all so much and enjoy the rest of your evening.
thank you.
Thank you.
In Ellis County, there's only one place to go, Doe City Pizza and Burgers. But don't worry, they got you also covered on ice cream as well. All kinds of flavors made in-house just specially for you. And toppings to boot, as many as you like. So count your blessings for Doe City Pizza and Burgers and those big old scoops the size of Texas. Made just the way you want. So head on down to Doe City where the service and food are both delicious. Doe City Pizza and Burgers located in Red Oak, Texas, right across from the high school. Come on down and try them.
Well, pretty good about everything we've been, saying and we work for. Get a little bit nervous game day, but outside of that, I think these girls are very prepared for whatever comes at them. So it's an exciting time for me anyway.
We came together as a team. We woke up the next morning and we worked on things and we fixed things and we came back the next day and we dominated, which is what we're supposed to do as a team and as a family.
Hitting stations, and we make sure that whenever we go through stations, we're not goofing off and that we're doing everything correct, so that whenever we get in the game, we're confident about how we hit.
Tell them every day after practice or after a game how much I love them. My daughters are grown, so these are who I come to every day. And we live life together. Whatever they're facing, I face it with them. I try to anyway, and be there for them.
The support, we're not really as nervous because we know no matter what happens, we have 3 options and 3 people who can do the best they can and who can pitch very, very well. And I feel like it gives us confidence on defense and on offense with hitting. If we don't get all the hits that
I told y'all from the beginning that we were going to make a run. I've been telling you that. And I wholeheartedly believe this is the group. The next 2 years, you guys watch out. We're gonna get there. We're gonna take it one game at a time. And we're in it. We're in it to dominate. We're in it to win. I remind them to stay humble because that's key to all of this. Let's stay humble. Keep working on what we need to work on and move forward.
So fun to watch. We're so fired up 24/7. We're yelling in the dugout all the time. We're loud. We always get the crowd pumped up and we're getting them to yell for us. When we go up to bat, we're just hitting the ball constantly and we just have everyone cheering for us. So just come support because we're going to dominate.
It feels really good to know that TRH has a lot of confidence in us. It just makes me feel like whenever we go into the game that we can do it. And she makes all of us believe in ourselves. And it makes us feel like we're a part of a family, not just a team.
Makes us so pumped when people come and watch us and we see like all the people in the stands just supporting us and having our back. And I feel like one of the main things we do is we have tons of fun. No matter like winning, losing, we still have fun.